Well, hello, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are here today. Welcome to our live discussion and how to apply, but also how to lead mission driven work with FEMA. The Federal Emergency Agency offers many opportunities to make a real difference for our community. Regardless of where you are, there are opportunities all across the US. So we hope that you can really capture today's opportunities and really explore further. This is a really great segment. We have discussions with Travis and Juan, who will be here, who are leading this discussion. They'll cover everything you need to know about the application process, including navigating USA jobs, crafting a standout resume for the federal process, but also tips to showcase your skills and experience that are aligned with FEMA's mission. Remember, this is mission-driven work that is really tailored and aligned with our military lifestyle. So you want to contribute to disaster relief, you are a resilient individual, this is probably the great way for you to really showcase your intentions, but also your mission and your purpose. So check out our careers community in the neighborhood where we'll have a follow-up as well as share with you more opportunities with FEMA and how to get in touch with them as well. So without further ado, let's get started and bring the team over to our discussion. Please post your comments and your questions. We love to be able to send your shout outs and highlight those towards the end. And also pay it forward. Pay it forward to other members who are looking for work and want to work for great missions like the one FEMA has. Thank you so much for joining us today. Well, hello. Once again, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. We are today live right now. We are on LinkedIn, we are on Facebook, we are in Salesforce, in our digital community, as well as YouTube. So, whatever you might be watching, please post your comments. Tell us. We want to send your shout out. Also, hit that reshare button and make sure that you send it over to your private group so that everyone can know what are some of these great opportunities available. We want to make sure that we spread awareness, how we can make a difference in our local community, the communities you reside, our kids grow up, and where everybody can really thrive together. So, without further ado, let's welcome our team. Welcome Juan and Travis. Please introduce yourselves. Tell us a little bit more about you and your work that you're doing on a day-to-day basis.
Thank you, Laura, and good morning or good afternoon, everyone. It is an honor to join all of you today as Federal Emergency Management Agency lead recruiter uh, and to represent an agency dedicated to helping communities recover and rebuild during their most challenging times. I am here with one of my team members, Travis Carter, that will be presenting this during this engagement. FEMA, in the Federal Emergency Management Agency, we understand the unique strengths and sacrifice of military families, and we are committed to providing opportunities that align with your resilience, adaptability, and dedication to service. Today, we will be sharing how FEMA supports its mission through diverse career paths, highlighting the opportunities that may be the perfect fit for you or someone you know in your community. I think that because we believe that together we explore how much skills and experiences can you contribute to building a more prepared and resilient nation. So thank you from my team, the Federal Emergency Management, and everybody from our different regional offices to this great opportunity, and we're looking forward to a great engagement session this afternoon.
Thank you so much, Juan, and thank you so much for all of your support and your passion, your mission-driven work that you always show up to support us here in the Blue Star Careers community. So we are really grateful for this connection. Travis, welcome as well. Thank you so much, sir, for being with us. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your role in FEMA.
Well, thank you. So I started my career in FEMA in 2011. I just returned back from my second tour in Afghanistan. So, and I was very fortunate to actually begin my career in FEMA as a FEMA reservist. So, and which was a great experience for me that allowed me to actually work within FEMA and also simultaneously learn more about the agency. So I am a veteran. My mother was a 25-year active duty veteran spouse and still is. That's one of the few jobs that just never quits. So, and it just because, you know, again, as a veteran brat, veteran uh, myself, I just appreciate the fact that the hardships and the commitment and the stewardship that is involved in this is no, just one of the best assets, to FEMA that we could ask for. So thank you for just the opportunity, and especially right now during the middle of the week, and taking your time and just connecting with us. Thank you very much. Our position, our job, is to set you up for success in every way we can. So that being said, just thank you again for the
Thank you.
opportunity to connect with you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And thank you for the opportunity. And please, to our network, please post those comments, keep those comments and those questions. We'll love to be able to highlight the shout outs. And we're going to get going into our presentation. But first, I want to ask Juan and Travis to please share with us a little bit because we all have a purpose. We all have a life-changing moments out there where we want to pick that dream career. I want to know how did they, what was that life-changing moment? How do they get involved with FEMA? Juan, what is your why? Why FEMA out of thousands of other agencies that you could have done federal work? Why FEMA for you?
So that's a great question, Laura. I previous joining FEMA, I used to lead a company that was actually working in the Caribbean, and I am originally from Cuba, so I am a very acquainted with disaster, especially hurricanes. So while working in Puerto Rico, I had the opportunity to witness FEMA's critical job. So after my service in that company, I decided to join FEMA because of its critical mission, helping people before, during, and after disasters. Among all the federal agencies and organizations, FEMA stood out as a place where I could directly contribute to supporting communities in their most vulnerable times and difficult moments. The ability to be in the front lines of disaster response and recovery, making a tangible difference and impact in people's life was deeply inspiring to me. FEMA, and this is for everybody that is watching this interaction. FEMA offers a unique opportunity to work on meaningful challenges, from coordinating disaster relief efforts to building resilience across communities. The agency focused on innovation, collaboration, and service, provided the ideal platform for me, and I know that will provide the same idea platform from all of you. My skills were continuously learning and growing in the field of emergency management. So for me, joining FEMA was not just a professional choice, but a personal commitment to make a difference in the life of those affected by disaster of any type of disasters.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much for your passion and for sharing your great career trajectory and also your why you ended up with FEMA as your choice of employment. What about you, Sir Travis? What led you to FEMA? Why was this your choice for you after the military, after active duty? This is such a great opportunity. I think that probably align with your values as well as to solve problems and bring solutions, right?
Well, absolutely. And again, it just kind of goes based on stewardship. Like it's, Juan, myself, everybody within FEMA, we don't own the situation so much as we're responsible for it. So whether it's logistics, acquisitions, contract oversight, human resources, and whatever department that you want to commit yourself to, that's stewardship, and that is the definition of what FEMA employees are. So for like Juan and myself, we both previously have worked with other departments within FEMA. We're not natural recruiters. We just got brought into the recruiting segment because that we saw the need, I mean, the critical need to bring in so many individuals to join our agency. And, and Juan has said this so many times, and if I'm quoting him correctly, our employment representatives need to be a mirror images of the public we serve. So, and that being
Absolutely.
said, yeah, and that being said, it's where we serve everybody. It's not one demographic. It's not one ethnicity. It's everybody. It's where we serve everybody, and every single project that FEMA has is humanitarian. Every single one.
Absolutely.
So we really need, you know, individuals come in and join our team, and we want them to. It's it's because of that. And when I was seeking, employment and acceptance into a team, FEMA took me in, and they did an amazing job. And we'll get into this later into the presentation, but FEMA actually wants you to be as trained as possible. So we actually even have our own like universities. It's called EMI, which is Emergency Management Institute. So when we bring you in, we train you up to do your job. At no point are you left alone. You always have a mentor, and you always have that fallback. But we truly want you to join the team because we need it. And again, your dedication to this team represents your community. So
Absolutely. That's really great purpose work we have going. We have with our community. Very excited to hear all about great opportunities that are happening, and you're going to share with us. You're going to lead us a little bit more into the discussion why FEMA could be also a great choice of employment for our community members. So why don't we get started, if I we may, and talk a little bit more about FEMA and get to know FEMA overall. If you have not yet heard FEMA or why FEMA, it's a great employer choice for you. Let's talk a little bit further about that.
sure. So uh, so for anybody that's not affiliated with FEMA, it's okay. There's over 400 government agencies currently. So nobody knows every single one of them perfectly. So our mission within FEMA is help people before, during, and after disasters. Next slide. All right. So our organization, so we're roughly 21,200 individuals, which actually includes 44% minorities. Now, think about the territory that we're covering. Now, we're covering from Puerto Rico to Saipan. Now, 21,000 individuals could barely fit in a football stadium, but we are looking for the individuals that want to join the team and be stewards within the team. And the stewardship, again, it goes back to, you want to join a team that you could actually provide your experience and expertise into. So, so we're 44% minorities. We also 50% female. Disabilities. I'm disability veteran myself now, and 14.9% veterans as well. So again, we cover all demographics. Next slide. So, presidential disaster declaration. So, let's take into consideration what's happening currently. Now, I recently just demobilized from North Carolina, which was a presidentially declared disaster. That means that it was such an effect that it required federal assistance. If you are looking for an opportunity to join a federal agency that is assisting with the federal assistance, then I promise you, FEMA is probably one of the most effective agencies you could actually join into.
Yeah.
So,
Just add a little bit more on that, Travis, if you allow me to, about the specifics of the presidential disaster declaration and how the process works. So the emergency declaration process, for everybody to understand this, begins when a state or tribal government determines that the scope of the disaster exceeds its ability to respond effectively. The head of the state or tribal leader must formally request federal assistance, certifying that that situation is beyond their capabilities. This request is submitted to the President of the United States through FEMA. The President then has to has the sole discretion to approve or deny the request, and upon approval, the declaration authorizes FEMA resources uh, to authorize United States through FEMA to provide the resources to that specific area. The president has the sole discretion to approve or deny those requests, and there are different types of declaration, as you can see: emergency declaration and major disaster declarations of emergency. And those disaster declaration provide immediate aid for situations that require federal involvement and save life, and also very important to protect property, such as public health emergency. And major disaster declarations address large-scale disaster, such as hurricane, earthquake, providing a broader range of federal assistance for recovery, including infrastructure repairs, individual aid, and long-term rebuilding effort. So that's a few about just a little bit about how presidential declaration works. You can go to the next, Laura. Thank you so much. So what happened when disaster strikes? Let's talk a little bit about response. So when responding to disasters, FEMA serves as the central coordinating agency for federal operations, working closely with states, tribal, and local governments, as well as private and nonprofit organizations. The agency mobilizes resources and personnel to provide immediate assistance, ensuring that critical supplies like food, water, medical aid, and temporary shelter reach the affected communities very quickly. FEMA's primary objective during disaster response is to save, sustain, and minimize suffering and protect property. These include deploying emergency teams such as urban search and rescue teams to locate and rescue individuals in danger, and activating incident management assistant team (IMA) team to establish command structures and ensure efficiency coordination. FEMA also support it support other partners like the Department of Health and Human Services and the American Red Cross to address public health needs, provide mental health support, and facilitate evacuations when necessary. Additionally, the agency supports efforts to secure critical infrastructure such as power grids and transportation systems to protect life and prevent further damage. By prioritizing safety, collaboration, and swift actions, FEMA disaster response operations are designed to stabilize conditions and set the foundation for recovery. So we can go to the next, Laura, please. Recovery. Let's talk about recovery, the recovery phase. When it comes to recovery, FEMA plays a critical role in supporting individuals and communities as they rebuild and restore after disasters. The agency provides tailored assistance through the individual assistance team and the public assistance team and programs. The individual assistance focus on helping disaster survivors meet their essential needs, offering grants for temporary housing, home repairs, personal property, and other crucial expenses not covered by insurance. FEMA also facilitates access to crisis counseling, unemployment assistance, and disaster case management to ensure holistic approach to affected individuals and families. And the public assistance, in the other side, in the other hand, is designed to aid state, local, tribal, and territory governments, as well as eligible nonprofit organizations in recovery from the financial burden of disaster response and recovery. This program fund debris removal, emergency protective measures, and the restoration of replacement of public infrastructure such as roads, bridges, schools, and utilities. By addressing both the individual and the community needs, FEMA recovery efforts aim again to build resilience and enable communities to emerge strong and better prepared for future disasters. Next slide, please. So our headquarters are located in Washington, D.C., and FEMA headquarters in our office where we work, Travis and myself, we set the policies and administer programs. We develop procedures and guidance and coordinate the implementation with regions and field elements when disaster occurs. Next, please. Around the United States, we have, and the U.S. territories, we have 10 regions, regional offices, plus joint recovery offices or GFOs. In FEMA, these regions implements and support, providing feedback on the national programs and policies, improving the capabilities of the states and tribal partners, and maintaining awareness of incidents and protecting potential incidents. The regions are the primary face of and voice of FEMA with disaster survivors and community partners when disaster occurs in those specific areas. Staff may include reservists, and we're going to be talking about reservists later on, as well as regional and headquarters staff teams that will be supporting individuals and their communities through the different recovery phases after disasters.
This is beautiful. Even though you are headquarters in DC, there's plenty of work opportunities and support throughout the US, correct?
Yes. You can go to the next, please. Thank you. And in the next slide, we're going to be discussing FEMA position types. Okay, so you can go to the next. And again, we have permanent full-time positions which are competitive service job. This means that they are filled based on ability. The competitive process includes an application and an interview. And after 1 year of continuous service, the PFTs gain competitive status. After 3 years of continuous service, they are hired through the competitive process and gain full career status. You can go to the next, please. This is a very important, especially in this forum when we're talking, correct, Travis? The non-competitive authorities, veterans, recruitment authority, 30% or more disabled veterans, Peace Corps, individuals with disabilities or Schedule A, and military spouses. You want to
Yeah.
expand a little bit on that, Travis?
Yeah. So the Veterans Recruitment Authority is actually called VRA. So, and I myself, when I applied to FEMA, I was a 30% more disabled veteran. But if you had earned that opportunity, please, by all means, put that in your resume and put that in your USAJobs profile. So, Peace Corps, Visual Staff AmeriCorps Vista. If you have been a participant in that, absolutely, please apply to this, and also make sure that is stated within your resume because you more than earned the right to it. Individual with disability Schedule A. Now, Schedule A is a different program. It's not veteran preference at all. Like if you are a disabled individual, it could be anything from sleep apnea, diabetes, um, amplitude toe, whatever it is, whatever that is, just identify it in your resume with that. Now that is a qualification. It's called a special authority qualification, and also simultaneously, FEMA will never ask you what your disability is. We're not even legally allowed to. So that is a two-letter application process within just applying for the federal program. That is, again, a personal conversation between you and your primary physician or whatever it is. So please, if you've got that letter, please uh, you know, point it to your application process with that. And military spouses, absolutely. Like my mother was a military spouse for 25 years, and she still is. It's one of the few jobs that just never quits. So please, if you feel like that is something that's applicable to your resume, please apply to that because I promise you, FEMA is going to recognize it.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. We can go to the next, Laura, please. Thank you. And next, we have the cadre on call response and recovery, or core positions. These are term-based roles where employees are hired to support FEMA's mission for a specific period of time, typically between 2 to 4 years. And again, over, let's say that a large number of our workforce are core employees, as myself and Travis. These positions may be extended if disaster-related work continues and funding is available. Core employees are not permanent employees, but they generally are eligible for the same benefits as a permanent full-time employee, such as health insurance, retirement plans, and leave. However, core employees do not gain competitive status or career tenure during their terms. One key advantage of core position is that they are filled through a streamlined hiring process rather than the traditional competitive hiring process, allowing FEMA to quickly onboard skilled professionals to address immediate disaster response and recovery needs. Again, core roles and core employees offer a unique opportunity for individuals who are passionate about emergency management and they want to continue to contribute to FEMA's mission while gaining valuable experience in a dynamic and impactful environment that we work when we support disaster operations. And when you go to USAJob.gov, you will see many FEMA positions that says core, and you will see other IC core, and you will see other one that says yes. So if you see an IC core position and you see that is temporary, usually those positions are renewed between 2 to 4 years. So do not think that you shouldn't be applying to those positions, and that's a misconception that many of the candidates that we encounter every day have. When they see that those are temporary positions, they do not apply. But like I said, through these core positions, you can get hired through an streamlined hiring process, and then continue to support FEMA's mission, and learn about how we operate when supporting our communities before, during, and after disasters. You can go to the next, please. Okay. Is that the next, local hire positions?
Yes, it is.
Okay, thank you. So let me go to the local hire positions. Thank you. So local hire positions, FEMA employees usually employ local hire to assist disaster response and recovery efforts. And that's another stream of opportunities, not only for community members, but also for anyone that wants to support and learn how we support disaster operations. FEMA employ local hires that are local residents who live in the area where the disaster happens. So usually, for example, when with what happened a few months ago in North Carolina, we were able to hire members of that specific community 50 miles around where the disaster or the areas that were impacted. So local hires are not a core employee or full-time, but they may get some benefits as well when serving our mission. And local hire terms are employments that can last up to 120 days. Local hire appointments may be also extended in 120-day increments, depending on the size of the disaster. And I have I met so many local hires when supporting disaster operations in Puerto Rico after Maria. That was a long recovery effort that FEMA and the local emergency management and the government of Puerto Rico supported. And we have members of the Puerto Rican community serving for more than 120 days. Some of them today are core employees and full-time employees within our team. So if you see any position, if you live in an area where if your area was disaster by what's affected by a disaster, and that specific area was declared for federal assistance, and you see that there are positions, that's an important avenue that you can take if you want to join the agency, because the conversion into core positions, it's great, and then you will be able to add that to your resume as an experience, as another experience serving our communities and especially our mission. You can go to the next. Thank you. And this is a very important area of an avenue for members of our different communities to join FEMA. We have reservist positions. Reservists are on-call FEMA employees that travel during disaster or emergencies. They work on an intermittent basis due to the regular nature of disaster. Reservists are the main FEMA workforce during an emergency or disaster. And they can be hired as well through a streamlined process. And let me just expand a little bit about that. Give me a second. Uh, Reservists, like I said, are the main workforce, are the of our workforce when supporting disaster operations, and they are protected by the Civilian Reserve Emergency Workforce or CREW Act that protect their job rights of FEMA. While at the same time they deploy to disaster emergencies and critical training. They can get trained supporting FEMA operations. FEMA reservists also are covered under the Uniform Service Employment and Reemployment Rights Act, USERA. This means that if you hold another job, you are able to deploy as FEMA reservist, and your job will be protected until you come back. So this is a very important, Laura, area. We didn't have that a few years ago, but the president signed the new law allowing FEMA reservists, like military reservists, to be able to support our mission, and when the mission is over, then they can come back and continue working in their specific areas or the different job that they have. All right.
This is a really great way for you to also continue to have kind of like your foot in the door with
Mhm.
very mission driven work, great intentions, but yet still have the job that needs to perhaps year round keep you busier as well.
Yep. Yeah, let's go to the next now. Let's take a look around our reservist cadres. We have 23 different groups of cadres that are organized by operational functions, and each cadre is focused on a different aspect of FEMA's mission. So I want everybody to take a look at that list, and again think about your own background. We have acquisitions, we have alternative dispute resolution, we have civil rights cadre, we have disability integration teams, we have disaster emergency communication, disaster field training, operations, disaster survivor assistance that support our the disaster survivors through the recovery phase. We have the environmental historic preservation team. You can work with external affairs, the field leadership team, financial management, hazard mitigation, human resources, individual assistance, information technology, logistics, national disaster recovery support, the office of chief counsel. That's where we hire our legal advisors, operations, planning, public assistance, safety, and security. So I know that probably 98% of the members of different communities that understand all the areas that we cover. And if you look in your professional background, you may fit in one of those different cadres or groups that we support through the reservist program. So when FEMA supports disaster operations in their different phases, we can hire, and you can get hired and support any of these reservist cadres or offices or groups. And it's, again, this is another great opportunity. If you have a degree in emergency management and you don't have any experience, if you have a degree or you have worked in the private sector in any of these different positions of job types, looking at that list, I know, like I say, 99 or 98% that you have worked in one of those areas before. So we're looking for you. We're looking for members of our different communities to have that specific experience and can support disaster operation and get deployed right away to the different regions or areas that have been affected by disaster. So the reservist team, like I said, I want to emphasize that it's one of the great avenues if you want a long-term career with FEMA. And again, the conversion rate from FEMA reservist to a full-time employee at FEMA is great, because you want to have the opportunity to work side by side with the members of our team, learn from there, and then when positions open in the future, you will be able to apply for those with the experience that you already gained from working side by side with our team. And if you with the new law, you are actually now able to go back to your regular job, and your employer by law, no matter the size of the company, have to hold your position. So this is great news, Laura. And I think that we right now you're gonna be able to see in USAJob.gov, and from the team members of the community that follow Travis and myself and the agency in LinkedIn and or in our social media channels, you will be able to see many positions coming out now for the West Coast to support the wildfires in California. So keep an eye on those opportunities in order for you to learn about what we do here at FEMA. Okay, we can go to the next.
Wonderful. I think you just answered a couple of questions for some members who were pending to find out more about these California support.
Thank you so much. So again, the information about the reservist gathering, and if you're so kind to get those links and add it to the chat, Laura, later on, if you can do it now, for our community members to be able to read in detail about how we support disaster operation from the reservist perspective, how to apply for jobs. And again, if you have any questions, you can follow up with me via LinkedIn. I'm going to leave my information at the end of the presentation, and also with Laura. We're here to help you, and we need to, like Travis said at the beginning, I always mention that our workforce needs to represent the communities that we serve. So we're looking for members of our different communities, no matter who you are, no matter where are you or what is your professional background, you will be able to support our agency in our mission. So we can go to the next, please. Another important thing is how to qualify through secondary education. Looking a degree equivalence to positions, you can see that a bachelor degree may qualify you for a many GS5 level positions or IC5 superior academy achievement or a high GPA may qualify you to GS7 in the competitive service and a level, and a master degree or law degree may qualify you to a GS9 position. A PhD will qualify you with a law degree level, will automatically qualify you to a GS level position. Now, when you mix that qualification, and this is why it's important to always be, if you want to get into the emergency management, an emergency management organization at any level, especially FEMA or any local emergency management agency experience, it's very important. So always look into those positions, local hire, reservist positions that can add to your resume. You may have, and I have met many people with professional backgrounds, with master's degree, that they were having issues finding jobs in the federal government, and then they served through FEMA, supporting disaster operations as a reservist, as a local hires, and then they work with us for 30, 60, 120 days, depending on the size of the disaster, up to 360 days. And they were able to support FEMA as a full-time employee or an IC Corps, and also apply for other positions within the Department of Homeland Security and other federal agencies because of the experiences that they gain helping our FEMA's mission through the reservist program, and also working as a local hire, supporting their own communities that have been affected by disaster. So always remember that experience is important. FEMA is an organization that is always not only bringing people, but also giving our communities the opportunity to learn about how we support disaster operations. Okay, we can go to the next, please. Another very important subject, and I know that we all have families that have kids that are in high school. They're probably going to college in the next few years. The student volunteer employment program employs students to FEMA as volunteers, pay for valuable experience directly related to their academic field of studies. Students also may receive education credits for their internship. I'm going to leave that in our FEMA.gov/career website. You can actually look for uh, uh, these specific opportunities. Every year we open volunteer employment, student volunteer employments and internships for our students around the country, especially minority service institutions, HBCUs. But again, it's open to all students and colleges students, and we are happy to have them supporting our disaster operations and learning while they're going through school about our different line of work. And another important thing, when I travel to colleges and universities, I have the conversation with students. I always advise them to join the reservist team while you're in school. If you have a member of your family that would like to serve disaster operation, and they're actually in colleges or completing their master or their doctoral degree through the school, they can actually join. They should join the reservist team at the same time that they are going through school. That will give them the experience that they need in their resume for, because if after graduation they want to continue working with the agency, that would be a great add into their resume if they were actually serving as a reservist and supporting disaster operations while going through school. And I have many good members of our team, great FEMA employees that actually took that advice a few years ago, and today they are supporting disaster operations and working in our different program offices. Can go to the next. So experience, gaining how to gain experience through work. And since we're talking about that, let's go back again. Right. So when describing work experience, and this is important when we are building our resume, we need to understand how we match our job qualification uh, with our background, professional background. And there are a few things to consider. Uh, Use general terms when describing your experience. Highlight the impact, the results of your work. Describe your qualified results with tasks, assignments that you have completed. Make sure that you list all the certifications and trainings associated with the positions that you hold before. A great resource for military personnel transitioning into the federal government needing assistance with resume is we have, for example, here in Maryland, the Maryland Department of Labor, but at FEMA, we have on my team, it's lucky to have, like all the federal agencies, a veteran program manager. And our veteran program manager is dedicated to support our veterans, our military spouses, to finding jobs at FEMA as well. So if you need additional assistance with that specific area, please reach out to me, Laura, or through Laura, and directly you can reach out to me directly or through Laura, and we can give you the information required for that. We also have the Skill Bridge program that supports our service members in gaining experience when through the agency to then support disaster operations and FEMA's mission. So we have, and I'm happy, that we have seen an increase on service member and veterans supporting FEMA's mission. And again, uh, Travis can talk a little bit about that, how aligned FEMA's mission is with his previous job in the military service. Go ahead, Travis.
Well, absolutely. So, pre-sale was actually Army Corps engineers, enlisted, and also officer on both sides. So, and when I was applying for a federal position, I had no idea what I was doing. But I never, been familiarized with USAJobs or federal resume template. But a very nice lady that I met, sat me down and walked me through it within a few hours. And she had amazing, just guidance on what I need to do with that. So,
Yes.
with the community involvement, AmeriCorps, Peace Corps, FEMA Corps, American Red Cross, local disaster emergency management agencies.
So
So,
those are like Travis was mentioning. Those are important areas that you can also gain experience not only at FEMA but through all those different type of organizations. Travis mentioned the AmeriCorps, the Peace Corps, FEMA Corps, and we're going to be talking about especially FEMA Corps, local and state disaster or emergency management agencies. So through those different organizations, you can gain also experience supporting FEMA disaster operations. Okay, let's go to the next, Laura, please. FEMA has this amazing opportunity to members of our different communities. FEMA Corps is an innovative partnership between FEMA and the AmeriCorps National Civilian Community Corps NCCC program. FEMA Corps is a unique term-based program that gives 18 to 24-year-old participants the opportunity to serve our communities impacted by disaster while at the same time gaining professional development experience with our team, working side by side with our team. FEMA Corps live, work, and travel in dedicated teams and serve for 12 months with an option to extend into a second term. And they gain training and experience while providing service and supporting disaster survivors and communities. They are also uh, earn a modest living stipend and their service through their service, and they receive also educational award upon completion of their program. So we work and we all, if you've been involved in disaster, you may have seen our FEMA Corp members supporting our mission and supporting disaster operations around the country. So if you have a member of your family, if you know someone that is interested in after college, after high school, between 18 to 24 years old, and you think and they want to learn about more about the AmeriCorps and the FEMA Corps program, we're going to also leave that specific link for you. And also you can check that information in our fema.gov/career website. So a great opportunity, especially for kids right now. An 17-year-old boy that I'm trying to push him to join the FEMA course so he can learn how we do what we do at FEMA, and also to learn about our mission, helping people before, during, and after disasters. Go to the next, please. Now, uh, let's talk a little bit. I know that we have an hour, but let's talk a little bit about resumes. Uh, public sector resumes are base resumes, and there are, and these are the responsibilities. But make sure that you demonstrate in your resume with a very with a big degree on details, and make sure that you highlight the importance of what you have done, uh, especially when you are building your federal resume. Think about behavior based interviews. Uh, when you're participating in a federal government interview, we will be asking behavioral based questions. For example, tell me about a time that you work with a team to achieve a goal. Uh, Interviewers want to hear what was the situation, what did you do, that's the action, and what was the result. So your resume as well need to showcase those different responsibilities, and make sure that you highlight the complexity of any job that you have, and mention as much as you can. Following this type of outline on your resume, remember, this is like a paper interview. You will be able to give the hiring managers a detailed version of your talents, skills, and using examples of your past accomplishments. So make sure that you're including those. Think about that if you were interviewing when you're building your resume. Make sure that you put that information there, and give as much as you can information about the position that you held, and how were you able to help organizations to improve in their different areas or programs. It can be also helpful to prepare. It will also be good for you to prepare yourself to answer questions if you are selected to participate in a federal interview that is a little bit different from the private sector resumes that we are used to see.
And Juan, are the
Mhm.
resumes for FEMA for federal, are they the same expectation to have a federal resume for a reservist, for someone who's applying for on call, as well as any of the other student
Yes,
positions
yes.
as
I,
well?
I, I, I personally recommend reservists. I personally recommend anyone applying for any FEMA positions to make sure that they complete their a federal in a federal resume format. And there are many examples. We at FEMA, we provide resume workshops once a month, and you can have that link through our www.fema.gov/career website. We have experts and members of my team that provide that resume workshop once a month. And again, I recommend everybody to build their resume following the federal resume. And we know it's a little bit different. That the military resume is a little bit different. It's a different from the private sector resume that sometimes they require one page. At the federal level, our resume should be between 3 to 5 pages, depending on the amount of your profession, depending on your professional background. But there are many the different links and opportunities. So make sure that you're looking into that. And if you have any question, again, please feel free to reach out to us. Okay. Again, when preparing your resume, make sure that you're putting together specific information about education, training, experience, and make sure you're adding your accomplishments. Okay, ensure that you cover a specialized experience and focus on relevant experience. And also remember that your resume is typically, like I said, no one page. The key is including a lot of details and making sure that the job description that you are applying, the job that you're applying, you need to read the job description. That also it's included on your resume in a chronological order. Dates are important, so include dates, include the list of all the certifications and trainings that you have done. Those are also very important, so make sure that you add that information as well. Okay. And I want Travis, if you can talk a little bit about specialized experience, please.
Yeah. Do you want me to speak about special experience as a reservist?
Yeah.
So, began my FEMA career as a FEMA reservist. It was formerly called the Long-Term Recovery Cadre, which is actually referred to as IRC now. So, and as Juan was saying, the FEMA resume, the FEMA reservist cadre is one of the best opportunities in any government agency. There's only two government agencies that even has actually internal reserve cadre. It's us and the USDA. So I was a FEMA reservist for approximately about 5 years. Phenomenal opportunity. And as Juan was previously stated, because the CREW Act, which is CREW, that actually allows you to maintain your current position. If you're working for a civilian corporation, it's you have full employment protection within that. So you would actually maintain your civilian position and also be a FEMA reservist simultaneously, which means you're a federal employee.
Thank you.
And one, well, but the caveat to that is, so what's going to happen is when you're becoming a FEMA service, you're going to be issued a FEMA I phone, which means that you get access to all the FEMA internal emails. Well, what that means is even though you're a FEMA reservist and you're not able to be activated, but you get access to all the internal FEMA position emails. So you could actually apply to those, and those actually circumvent USAJobs. They actually go, it's a direct application process to that.
Thank you,
So,
sir.
yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. So, especially for reservists, and then when you're qualifying for any type of positions at FEMA, your specializing experience, it's reviewed, and when you send your resume, the human resources specialist will be reviewing that resume to evaluate the experience in your resume to ensure that you meet the minimum qualifications of the position, and then the best selected candidates will be sent to the hiring manager for a second review. And then if that hiring manager for the specific program, that is probably an HR manager and also a member of that program, will review your resume, and he will be able to determine if you're qualified or not for the position. You can go to the next, please. Specialized experience. What make an specialized special? Experiences can be learned through a short amount of time. So in the federal level, it takes at least a year, 52 weeks, 51 to 52 weeks uh, uh, to show your competency. So when you're applying to any federal position through using a federal resume, make sure that that's why we said that dates are important. And we don't have the time to review, but I think that in the next engagement, Laura, we can actually review an actual job announcement to talk a little bit about those specifics when applying for different vacancies, where one emergency management position may be asking for a public assistant experience, another may be requiring individual assistance or data analysis, but you need to make sure that to apply for that ES11 that require 52 weeks of experience, we need to see that those 52 weeks of experience. That's why dates are very important when you're applying for federal positions, and add those dates in your resume, okay? And again, how to apply for FEMA position, how to apply for our position. You can apply through USAJobs.gov. You can also, like I said before, you can visit our www.fema.gov website, and through USAJobs.gov, you can apply for IC core positions, general scale positions, and also local hire positions that are open in a few. And like I said at the beginning of my presentation, if you look around USAJobs.gov during the next few weeks, you may see positions related to the disaster that are happening right now in California, from local hire positions to reservist positions, because we are getting ready to start moving. We actually moving. We have personnel already there, but we probably will need more support from the local community. And again, local hires not only help the community, but also through that specific opportunities, we help rebuild the communities because we provide jobs for the communities that were affected by the disaster. So again, visit USAJob.gov and FEMA website, www.fema.gov/career, to search for positions, learn a little bit about what we do and other opportunities. Okay. And I think that we can stop right now because that's a presentation that we did for another area. Thank you so much.
Yes.
We can
And
go to the last.
we have a lot of questions, so I hope you still have a few time to address some of these. We have a lot of great members from our community, and so who have questions and want to know more about their opportunities. And I'm gonna just take our slide back to the first page so that everybody knows who's watching right now the tails of these webinar and finishing up knows that we're talking to FEMA. So I'm going to start bringing questions up in the most recent for you, but question is, I'm a retired veteran with 100% rating with the Schedule A letter. I have applied through USA Job, 5 different FEMA positions. 4 of them have applied in March. Federal, all of them are still active. So what's the best support here, Juan, for someone who is in the system, has not yet moved forward with actual results yet?
Again, it may take some time depending on the program that you're applying. My recommendation is to be patient. Make sure if you already send the application, it's going through the system. The application process is a little bit different with us, depending on the operations and how our teams are supporting disaster operation. And again, our workforce, you need to keep an eye on this. And remember, our workforce is alive. Like I said, it's a live workforce. It breathes. It can expand and retract depending on the size of the disaster. Today, we may go to a temporary or a time that we don't have too many disasters around the country. But you have seen the amount of disaster that we are supporting every day, not only from wildfires but hurricanes. So right now we have several disaster declarations around the country. So it may take 2 to 4 to 8 weeks to get a response back. But again, we are looking and reviewing all the positions and all the applications that our HR team have been receiving. And if you have that specific non-competitive eligibility, then I will also recommend you to be patient. And if you have any additional, if you want any additional information about that, please reach out to Laura. We can provide you with with our veteran program manager officer that actually manage and support our agency and my team on those specific areas. Okay.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And then this is another question. I love this one for military spouses. How practical is it to sign up as a reservist while my spouse is active duty and I have a small children at home? Is that
Uh,
practical enough
yes,
to join?
yes.
Yes.
Go ahead, Travis.
Well, as a female reservist, so basically the rules are that you've got to be within the U.S. or U.S. territories. So, but then again, I started off as a female reservist when I got up active duty, and I was a female reservist for almost 5 years. So it was a career opportunity. But, well, if you're in the process of doing a PCS move, and it just make sure that is illustrated in your application and your resume, and just tell them your location where that is. So whether you're in Korea or Europe or wherever that is, just make sure that it's actually illustrated within your an initial application with that, and then we go from there. It's not it, and I always tell, especially the military spouses and individuals getting ready to PCS, it doesn't disqualify you immediately if you're overseas. Just apply, but when you do apply, make sure that it's illustrated your location, but also make sure
Yeah.
that it's also like, hey,
And I
relocating
and
to this location within the
yeah.
U.S. or the U.S. territories, and then that again, there's no rule saying you cannot apply while you're outside the U.S. It's just to be officially assigned to FEMA or any federal agency, you have to be in the
Yeah.
U.S. or
Thank
U.S. territories.
Yeah, and I saw a great response here from Tasha. Tasha, replying to Christine Allen, that she said in the chat that you would need, if you are a military spouse and your husband is an active service and you're applying to reservist positions, yes, apply. Number one, but remember to have a contingency plan if you have kids, okay? Because you may be called. And again, you can, if you have a situation that you're not able to deploy to support disaster operation, you can say no problem, all right? So it's not that you are reservist and we call you and you have to go. If you have any other important matters to attend, you can decline that deployment and then deploy when you're available. Okay.
Wonderful. Great opportunities for all military spouses to have Plan B employment. Also, young adults. Daughter is a high school senior. Any scholarships available for volunteering with FEMA, Juan?
Yes, yes. Like I mentioned before, yes, we have opportunities. And again, the FEMA course program is a great program that I will recommend to everybody interested, or any member of your family that is going to college, high school or college. But yes, we have internships every year, and you have to keep an eye on those when we put out those summer internship programs. But also make sure that you look into the FEMA course program. Like I said, I am trying to convince my son to join the FEMA corps. He wants to be a doctor. He said, "Well," I said, "Well, yeah. Especially if you're going to be a doctor, you should be working for a year with us, supporting disaster operations, seeing what our communities go through before, during, and after disaster." But yes, there are many opportunities. And again, visit our FEMA.gov website /careers, and you will be able to see all those opportunities for younger, for our members of our family and our young generation.
Excellent. And Martha, apply, submit your application for the part-time or temporary positions. Just submit it and let's follow up with Juan. Also, hear from James, how easy to transfer or to explore different areas within the best fit within FEMA. So if you're selected for something, how easy for you to maybe perhaps be able to hop on into the next venture in 6 months or a year?
Yeah, the opportunities are amazing. Like I showed you before, we have many program offices. We have many regional offices. But FEMA, again, you need to understand what happens when we are supporting. We not only support the communities after disaster, we also prepare communities for disaster. We have teams that help community to build the measures to avoid bigger damages through disasters. So you can be working with the environmental protection, and if you are a data analyst, that you want to actually work in the future supporting disaster operations, you have the opportunity within FEMA to get as a FEMA employee to serve through details that we provide in different program offices for you to work with them for 3 to 6 months, depending on the size of the need of that specific program officer, and you will be able to get those opportunities and learn about how they support disaster operations. And the mobility within the agency it's great. I came from the individual assistant team. It was not a detail, but I did a voluntary. I always loved recruitment, so I started working with the recruitment team, and I learning and bringing my recruitment expertise from the private sector. And then after 5 years of serving within the individual assistant team, supporting disaster operations and working directly with the national processing centers and our call centers, and leading teams over there, I was able to transfer into HR and now lead the FEMA recruitment team from our national office right here in Washington, D.C. So there are opportunities not only within FEMA. Remember, we are under the Department of Homeland Security. We have many components that are always looking for members of our federal community that are trained and understand how to support disaster operations. And then if you go to the private sector, then there is another story.
Yes.
They are looking for members of our different federal workforce.
For Kat, Juan just mentioned those California roles will be coming up pretty soon. So be on the lookout. Set up job alerts perhaps from USAJobs or from FEMA directly so that you can get informed when those
Yeah.
positions become available. Now, from SETI here, has there ever been any remote positions, Juan, for in general?
Yes, yes, yes. We have a few remote positions, but there are some, and those are positions that are not too many, but you can actually. But again, like you said, just set up a notification through USAJob.gov when those remote positions come out. Make sure that you get the notification and you have your resume ready to apply. And about the resume, going back to the resume, make sure that when you're submitting your resume, you have a general resume, and then you build your resume looking into the specific informations and duty on the job announcement. My recommendation is to visit our FEMA.gov website under events, FEMA.gov slash career under events, and look into our FEMA resume workshop.
Excellent.
There you're going to be talking to my actually our veteran program managers and my recruiters, and they will tell you exactly how to build your federal resume and how to move those review those duties from the job announcement into the resume. But yes, there are some opportunities as well
Excellent. Thank
as
you.
uh,
And I
as
was highlighting members who were watching. They're still watching us. Thank you so much for hanging in here for our webinar. We're going a little bit longer than expected, but this is always such a great
that's okay.
opportunities for us to know. So all the way in Jackson and Mississippi, Vegas, all the way in Germany. Thank you, Seti, for tuning in. I know it's evening for you out there, New Jersey. Thank you. When you are heading back to the US, start right now creating your USAA job application. Start considering FEMA. So when you arrive, you are already in the system working things out already. So thank you so much. I got here someone, Veronica from Georgia, and she's a disabled veteran, 9 years experience, logistics, U.S. Army, secret clearance, a bachelor's in business administration. Definitely belong in FEMA, right, Juan?
Yep. 100% yes. Please look into positions, into those specific job announcements, and again, if you need help, find us, and we're gonna provide you the link if you want to send us an email as well uh, to the FEMA recruitment team and talk to one of our representatives or myself, and you can look at me also and Travis in LinkedIn. We are always posting positions. If you visit my profile, you will see that I have how to build your federal resume. I'm always posting, and my team is always posting information there. And also, you can go to the FEMA.gov website and our LinkedIn website to see information about different positions. But yes, please apply because we need you.
Excellent, thank you. And I'll continue to highlight here some members from our community who were watching earlier, and they were um, they're obviously adding some comments and saying hello, welcome everyone. I'm going to go ahead and switch over to another site out here and send shout outs. Bring a couple of questions I had from Tina from our sponsors community earlier. She asked a question and wanted to just to make sure for entry level positions. She has a bachelor's with a focus in homeland security and emergency management, but she has had a really hard time finding
Mhm.
job related to her degree with no experience. So, what would be the best sort of scenario, Juan, that you can share for Tina?
The best, it's like I mentioned before. That's a perfect example of what we were talking before. Sometimes, we need people with some a level of experience. If you don't have the experience, no worries. You have the reservist team. You can serve and learn from the reservist team, uh, and support any of our 23 cadres. So if you have a background in emergency management, if you have a background in homeland security, look into those positions within the reservist team, but also apply for any entry level position within the agency. But also, if you see any position in the reservist team, please make sure that you apply. And if you're so kind, please you can send your resume to Laura through this web, and we can actually continue the conversation. I can assign on myself follow up with
There
you.
we go.
Okay.
That's a commitment right there, team, for everyone out there who's watching.
Yep.
And just so that we can wrap it up, we have a lot of great questions, comments. We'll make sure that we'll follow up with every single one of you who are posting throughout the different communities. So if you're on Facebook, if you're on LinkedIn, or if you are in our digital community, please continue to post those. I'll go back and ensure that you get connected with Juan, with Travis, with the rest of the FEMA team. You don't have to do this alone. And I know navigating USA job is just, it's a challenge, it's a monster. It's just very time consuming, but you don't have to do it alone. Networking, connecting directly right now with FEMA, with Juan, with Travis on LinkedIn, following what they promote, but also use our Blue Star Careers community neighborhood. We'll share the follow up and other links and also resources that you can access following this event so that you can stay in touch with them. And when in doubt, just ask and we'll track Juan in all of his multiple ventures throughout the U.S. where he goes to recruit, and we'll make sure that you get connected with them. It may not necessarily lead directly right away to a job, but it certainly will help you get connected faster
Yep.
to that opportunity. So, Juan and Travis, do you guys want to share a little bit more what activities you have coming up in the next couple of weeks, perhaps really high level, that people in different locations can actually come and face to face talk to you?
Yes. So we have on January 16th. I'm sorry that I have to
That's
look to
okay.
my other screen. Actually, tomorrow we're gonna be in Tampa, Florida, in a recruit military event. And if you go to Travis or me or myself pages, you can actually see that I'm going to be posting those links as well for you, Laura, so you can share with your community. So we have a military recruit event in Tampa. Then on January 29, we're going to be in Orlando recruiting from our communities that were affected by the disaster in Region 4. Travis and myself are traveling down there. I have my veteran program manager and two other of my team members in Tampa. They have just arrived today, and the event will be tomorrow. Then on February 6th, we want to have supporting a recruit military event as well in Dallas, Texas, in the in Arlington, Texas. So all that information will be sent to you, Laura. So that's what we have. Then on September, remember, make sure that you join our resume workshops that we do second Tuesday of each month. It's a FEMA resume workshop dedicated to all of you that want to join our mission. And again, we have different recruitment events, virtual recruitment events around colleges, universities, and professional organizations as well. We are all around the country making sure that our workforce represents the communities that we serve, and we all are important. And I want to give you a last advice, a few advices before I leave. If you are passionate about public service, disaster response, and you want to build a long-term career with any federal, agency that manage disaster operations, especially FEMA, make sure that you, number one, study, understand the mission, familiarize yourself with FEMA mission. To help people do it before, during, and after disaster. Make sure that you review that and find that strong alignment with this purpose and what you have in your heart as a human. Consider entry-level positions like reservists, core, volunteer opportunities to gain hands-on experience in disaster response. These roles, no matter what level, it could be local, in a local emergency, your city local emergency management, or your state or local government emergency management, will help you to move into a federal career, especially with the Federal Emergency Management Agency, because we coordinate disaster operations and we work with those local emergency management, state and local emergency management all the time. Invest in your education and your skills. Pursue degrees relevance to emergency management, operation, homeland security. There are many certifications, like the certification in emergency management or incident command system training that you can take, and leadership programs. We're looking for leaders. We're looking for people that can get into a disaster site and coordinate that operation. Make sure that you continue building your network within FEMA and federal agencies through recruitment events, connecting with employees, professional organizations, community organization in the emergency management field, and make sure that you stay resilient. Working in a disaster response can be challenging but rewarding. Adaptability, problem solving, and emotional resilience are essential for long-term success. Okay,
That's
so
wonderful. I think you
uh,
just described
mhm,
all the great qualities military connected families and employees have
yep.
as well. So thank you so much for that. Travis, last call to action. Anything from your end as we wrap up this webinar with our community?
No, just to get out what I was saying. I mean, just please apply. It's the biggest bridge to build is just make that initial conversation with us, whether it's Juan or myself or anybody else. Just that initial conversation. Ask us, and you could ask us any questions you want. You're not limited to 1 or 10 or 100. Just please establish that initial conversation with us because we really want and we need your experience. We need your stewardship. We need your teamship basically. So yeah, reach out to us, and it's not that we're are going to give you the best answers immediately, but I promise you, when we do answer you, it will be the best answer. It will. And again, we're all veterans here, and we're all
Thank you.
spouses, and we've all have had the opportunity to be stewards, with our families. Well, what we're asking you to do is be stewards within the FEMA agency. So just please make that initial conversation with us, whether it's email or LinkedIn or however you want to do it, whatever's more comfortable for you. And then let's just build that bridge, and then let's go from there.
Excellent. Thank you so much. So, yes, follow Travis on LinkedIn, follow Juan on LinkedIn, comment when they post job opportunities, where they're heading, if they are near you in Dallas, Orlando, maybe California, DC. Do make an
Mhm.
attempt to go and introduce yourself and make it more personable. And when in doubt, join our Blue Star Careers community in the neighborhood and let us know how we can facilitate that connection. Just be patient sometimes because they are traveling. It could take a little bit of days or hours or extra days for them to get back to you. Be patient, but be consistent because this is a great opportunity for you to really shape up and draw very mission driven work in your local community, in your state, but also for military families in general, and everything and that needs to be doing. So thank you so much for Juan and for Travis to being here today. We lost Juan a little bit, but he's coming back. But I want to be able to say thank you so much for everyone watching. Again, continue to support and pay it forward. Tag someone who needs to listen to this, and if you have any questions with your application, with follow up on anything in general, just reach out to us here in the Blue Star Careers community in the neighborhood, and we'll take care of you for sure. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for
Thank you so
coming
much.
today.